Hey everybody, what is going on and welcome back to the channel. First off, happy new year to you guys. In today's video I just want to go through the upcoming stuff that is going to be happening to the Camaro in the new year. But before I get to that, I did go and sell one of my cars. Now the one I got rid of was the Subaru. I wasn't really planning on getting rid of it this quickly. Pretty much when I bought the Tahoe, I was planning on that replacing the Subaru. So I knew at one point I was going to go and you know, sell the Subaru, but I decided to just put it on Craigslist. I listed it for like 4,500 bucks. I knew right away the lowest I was going to take was like $4,000. Literally the next day after I posted it, a guy came to look at it with his son. He really liked the car. He offered me $4,000 right then and there. I told him, yeah, you know what, take it. So yeah, I sold the Subaru. I'm a little sad to see it go, but at the same time, I'm glad I was able to recuperate some of the money I put into this thing because, you know, as you guys know, I did have to go and put a new rear on it, being that went out after I put the blower on it. Honestly, the major thing that played a part in me actually, you know, posting it and trying to sell it was the fact that the Tahoe's actually been running pretty good. Now, I have a lot of videos lined up for that thing. Actually, I have like 4 or 5 of them already filmed that I haven't even edited yet, so they're kind of behind. The only thing that's holding me up on that is the transmission lines. I have the cooler lines. As you saw in the last video with the Tahoe, I actually went and I dropped the pan, I did the fluid, I got it inspected. I put a few hundred miles on it. I don't have any check engine light or anything. The transmission feels all right. I still want to go and you know, drain the fluid, put the Lucas in it, and finish that video up, get the transmission lines on there. I just really haven't had time to get under there and get those lines finished, because as you guys know, working the driveway on jack stands, doing a job like that with those long cooler lines, it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass. So that's why I haven't gotten around to filming that video, but I did get around to doing like detailing videos and stuff like that. So there is going to be a lot coming on that. I have the videos done. As I said, I just have to get them edited. But with that out of the way, with this video, I'm going to be focusing on everything that's going to be coming up on this car for this year. So pretty much everything I have planned for it, what's going to be going on with the channel as far as this car goes. So what do you say we jump in the car, we'll go for a ride, and I'll explain to you everything that I have in store for the Camaro this year. All right, so 2019 and the Camaro. What do I have in store for the channel? Well, first I want to come out and say I spent a lot of money on this car last year. The blower was something I always wanted to do, so I knew that was going to kind of get pricey, but I really wasn't expecting to drop like 3,500 bucks on a rear end. So I definitely am not going to be doing as expensive stuff to the car this year. At least I hope I'm not. I mean, if the transmission or something went out, obviously there's really nothing I can do about that. I'm gonna have to get it fixed. But as for actual mods, as long as the car is like running fine, nothing breaks, knock on wood, the actual upgrades I'm gonna do aren't gonna be as drastic as last year. A few things I have in store right off the bat. I'm gonna have to get new harnesses. Last run at the track, they kind of gave me a hard time because these don't really have a date on them, and I got them used. I don't know how old they are, so I'm probably going to get a either a new set of Corbeau harnesses or maybe a race quip. In addition to that, I do have to get some better gauging in here, so I want to get a working wideband because my Innovate LC2 just took a crap and isn't working. I tried updating the firmware. I tried like 3 new sensors. It just comes up with a sensor error and it's not working. So I'm going to get a new wideband. I do want to get a shift light. I'm going to work on getting one of those. So as one of you guys mentioned, I'm always looking down at the cluster. If you see any of my videos when I'm doing track runs, I'm just staring at the cluster waiting for the needle to come up. And then as for actual mechanical stuff, I do have to get a torque arm. I'm still running the factory torque arm on here. I want to get one of those, as well as do an ice box in the trunk, because as good as that AFCO Raptor heat exchanger does cool, the whole setup as far as like the reservoir, it's really small. I need a lot more capacity opposed to having that little tiny overflow tank that I'm using as a reservoir right now. If I can have like a you know, a 2.5 or a 5 gallon tank in the back and hoses running all the way to that, not only is that going to add a lot of capacity, but I'll be able to just dump a bag of ice in it, and that's going to cool the engine a lot better than just having that little tiny overflow in the engine bay. Between the harnesses, the gauges, and the ice box, that's probably going to be like the first things that I'm going to be doing. I would love to get like a set of heads or something, you know, to give it some more power, like 5.3 PRC ported heads, maybe port the blower and the snout. That's going to be something I do next year, because as you guys can see from my track runs, the 60 foots are pretty awful, so there's really no point of adding more power if I can't put what I have to the ground now. So I'm definitely going to be working on improving my 60 foot, getting that down, you know, making good runs, good times with the power I have now, and then probably sometime next year I'm going to do the heads and port the blower. I mean, I'm saying that now, but that's that's how it's planned for now. I mean, we'll see what happens towards the end of the year. Another thing I was thinking of doing was a buddy of mine who's way better with HP tuners than I am suggested going to throttle by wire. Now, if I get a throttle by wire pedal, you can actually regulate the throttle through HP tuners coming out of the hole. So right now I have a problem with traction. When I'm lined up with throttle, I can't keep it forward coming out of the gate just because it spins too much, even on the drag radials. So by having the drive by wire set up, you can actually go into HP tuners and modify the crack on the throttle. So I could be sitting at the line ready to take off. I can have my foot to the floor on the pedal, but by going into HP tuners and playing around with the throttle, I can have the throttle blade only cracked a little bit. And even though my pedal's floored, coming out of the gate, you can regulate the throttle so it gradually opens up till you're wide open. So I don't have to, like, you know, flutter the thing and try to get it to stick and try to keep it from spinning. So I think that's definitely something I'm gonna look into. I don't have to change my harness. I could just pin my PCM, run the wires to the pedal, to the throttle body. So that's definitely something I'm going to look into doing, but for now I'm just going to work with what I have, do the torque arm, see what I could do with the regular cable throttle body, and how far down I can get to 60 foot, just you know, good driving and practicing. But obviously the number one thing I'm going to have to do before I do any of that stuff, this car needs a clutch. Driving on the street, it's absolutely perfect now. It's not slipping anymore, but I know as soon as I hit the track, do one good run, it's going to start slipping again. I do have the RST McLeod in this car, and it's really not meant for like drag racing. So after you do one run, the thing just heats up and it just doesn't hold anymore. So I'm probably going to go to like an RXT or maybe a monster clutch. I'm not sure. I want it to be pretty streetable. So if any of you guys have any suggestions as far as a clutch goes, what's going to be really good and strong on the track, but also very streetable, it's not going to mind me driving it every day or you know, every other day on the street, definitely please leave a comment. I'm definitely you know, in the market for a clutch right now, so I'm open to any suggestions you guys may have. But speaking about my clutch and drag racing, Talon TSI 97 made a video on my car when I was making my runs, like in my previous track video. So he actually has outside views of me doing burnouts, doing the 10.8 run, all that stuff. So I'm going to link his video in the description. Go give him a follow. He just has pure track videos. You know, no talking, no BS, just pure action on his channel. So I would definitely go recommend giving him a subscribe and checking out his channel. But I'm going to put a link to that video down below. So if you want to see more of my track runs from the outside view, definitely go check that out. Also, if you go look at that video, you'll notice when I was doing my burnouts, a lot of them were in the water box. When they were spraying down the track, they just put too much water in the water box, and it actually came to a point where they had to blow the water out and kind of dry it out just because there was too much water. So when I was actually doing the burnout, I was in the box. I didn't know I wasn't up far enough, so I just slung water all over the tires. So that was a big reason why the times were just awful. Like I did that one good 10.8, then the clutch kind of went out, but as the clutch came back, my tires were just soaked because I was just, you know, splashing around in the burnout box, getting water all over the wheel wells and stuff. So I know for next year, I'm definitely going to practice that, make sure I'm not doing a big sloppy wet burnout. And with the new clutch, I think I'm going to be able to get consistent high 10s and hopefully get it down to the mid or maybe even low 10s. But that's pretty much all the stuff I have planned mechanically for the car. I do want to do more stuff to the interior, so after I get, you know, the shift light and the new wideband, I'm probably going to do the harnesses, the door panels. I want to redo them. As you know, I obviously want to take it back to the track and do a lot more drag racing with it, and I also want to start autocross and maybe even a little road racing. I know road racing is going to put a toll on the car, but I think that's where this car is really going to shine if I can keep the heat down and we don't run into any like heat soak or heating problems, because just with the shocks and the wheels and the tires set up, and now with the blower, I think this is going to be really, really fun to take around a road course. Also, autocross is going to be coming up. I'm going to probably be doing that once the season starts. That's probably the first thing I'm going to be doing with it this year, as far as the racing season goes, because I have to do the clutch. Before I can really go back to drag racing, I'm going to have to do the clutch. Autocross, it's going to kind of be in one gear the whole time, so it's not going to be that bad on the clutch. So I'm probably going to start off with that. And then once I get the clutch done, we'll start doing drag racing, maybe off and on between that and autocross. And hopefully, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get some road course racing in there. As I mentioned last year, I put a lot of money into this car. All that money was my money. This year, and towards the end of last year, the way I've kind of been trying to do it is using any money that I get from YouTube to do mods to the car. So you may see me doing like little stuff for a month, you know, little videos, interior stuff like that, and then leading up to like something big, like when I do the clutch, because it's hard to always put money into this car and you know, keep the content coming. So I'm trying to just kind of regulate my money and use just the YouTube stuff to you know, just throw mods on the car and try to get you guys as much content as possible. So as the channel grows, I'll be able to do more and more, you know, extravagant, like cool stuff to the car. But for now, I'm gonna try to take it a little slower and just practice on the racing and the bare necessities that I need, you know, to keep the car going and keep it reliable. If I start road course racing with this thing, I'm definitely going to need that ice box in the back, because the blower just, you know, if you're road coursing, you're on that track for like 20 minutes at a time, just non-stop, full speed. So I'm definitely going to need some kind of cooling for the blower. So I think I'm going to probably go with like a 5-gallon ice box in the back. I'm definitely going to do some testing with an air dam, because the car doesn't have an air dam on it. So that's another video I want to do, is get an air dam, put it on the car. We're going to see what difference that makes with cooling on the highway in traffic driving compared to not having it, which most third gens, you know, they fall off, and that leads to a lot of the overheating problems. So I know if I start a road course racing, I'm definitely going to have to get the air dam on the car. The other thing I kind of want to do is a gas mileage video. A lot of you guys are asking me, who are just, you know, either planning on doing an LS swap or in the middle of the swap, what kind of gas mileage I get. I really never calculated the mileage on this car. I mean, the speedometer is calibrated and the odometer does work, so I can get an accurate, you know, mileage reading and do the math and everything and get an accurate mile per gallon. So that is a video I'm going to do. I think I'm going to split it up, you know, into one video, but I'm going to do one tank of me driving the way I always do, you know, kind of foot in it, a little lead footed, but nothing too crazy. I really don't do any long pulls with this car when I'm driving it every day. And then I'm going to do another run with another tank of gas where I just drive like a complete grandma, you know, granny shift, low RPM, you know, driving like there's an egg under the pedal. So I think that's going to be really fun to see what mileage the car is actually going to get with the blower and everything, and what that's going to be compared to how I normally drive, as opposed to if I was driving, you know, with trying to save gas in mind. Anyway, so I hope you guys are excited as I am for the upcoming year. I have a lot of good stuff planned for this car, so definitely stay tuned. Tell your friends about the channel. Anybody who's interested in these cars, LS swap kind of stuff. If you don't follow me on Instagram, link's going to be in the description. You know, I'm always trying to help any of you guys out who have questions with these swaps. I always get a lot of DMs on Instagram. Hey Matt, I love your videos. I'm in the middle of a swap. What would you suggest, you know, as far as this? So anybody who have any questions like that, please don't hesitate to send me a message on Instagram or leave a comment below. But for now, that is going to do it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. For a brief time, I had the pistol grip shift handle on this car, and it doesn't have a locking nut. So when it sits a perfect way, you know, your fingers are all lined up in it and it feels good. And the shifts are just so much more precise than having the shift ball. But the problem is there's no lock nut, so I tried wrapping the thing with Teflon tape, but after a while it comes loose and you do a shift and the thing twists and it messes your shift up. So for now I just took it off and I put the ball back on. But I mean, going from the pistol grip handle to the ball, I mean, the shifting is just so sloppy and crappy. I would definitely recommend anybody who has a shift ball and a manual transmission, if you want to get more accurate shifts, definitely go with like a pistol grip kind of shifter. I just have to kind of fabricate some kind of like lock nut or something, see if there's a kit I can buy so I can get that shifter in there lined up and locked in place. But yeah, definitely a pistol grip is so much more better when you're racing and stuff, opposed to having this ball. Because I know last year at the track, all my racing was done with the ball, and constantly I was missing fourth gear. It just wouldn't go in. Even if I backhanded it, I just couldn't get into fourth gear. This year with the pistol grip, I only missed fourth, I think, one time, and that was when the clutch was acting up. So definitely I would recommend getting a pistol grip handle